Parental involvement at the high school level is essential. Supporting your student, providing aid to teachers and coaches, and most importantly, working with your young adult to help them learn how to manage their emotions, questions, concerns, organization and time management, and relationships is vital to their growth and preparation for life beyond high school. Hi, I'm Margaret Meek, and this is The Problem with Over-Involved High School Parents. Because of those parents who want to solve all their students' high school problems themselves, damage can be done to relationships, reputations, and the positive educational outcome we all desire. Some of you may have heard a comedy routine by Jeff Foxworthy called "You May Be a Redneck." The comedian points out an exaggerated act and then associates that action with the term redneck. Well, over the last few weeks, we've heard a few stories and seen actual behavior that needs to be called out. If you are holding conversations with your students, teachers, or coaches without your student holding that same conversation by themselves first, you may be an over-involved high school parent. If you are berating another student, teacher, or coach in front of others, you may be an over-involved high school parent. If you are completing projects on behalf of your student, you may be an over-involved high school parent. If you are blaming teachers for being the only reason your student is not learning a concept, you may be an over-involved parent. If you are going on college visits or attending college fairs with your young adult and you speak more words than your student, you may be an over-involved high school parent. If you're contacting a college admissions officer to ask questions about your student's application, you may be an over-involved high school parent. If you are picking a fight with an umpire or other official during an event or game, no matter how bad their calls, you are an over-involved high school parent. If you are writing any part of your student's college application, you are an over-involved high school parent. If you are telling other people that you want to hit your player's coach with your car, you've lost all perspective. Perspective is the operative word in all of these instances. Your job is to help your student learn how to manage the challenges they face now to strengthen the skills they will need to face challenges for the rest of their lives. It would help if you step back from the perspective that you are the best individual to handle any situations that have you ticked off, frustrated, enthusiastic, or convinced that you are the only individual to handle the situation and that your way is the only way. Every instance I listed in these examples has happened within the last week. Teachers, administrators, college employees, coaches, and sports officials are leaving their field of employment because parents have been too emotionally involved, and in way too many cases, they are just plain aggressive and offensive. These adults in your student's life are leaving because dealing with parents who have lost perspective is so difficult. Please remember that we are talking about parents being over-involved in aspects of their student's life, with which the student should have complete control. Parents have a role, especially when safety or mental health is involved. However, even in those instances, involving your student in these conversations is best. You will be able to teach them how to advocate for themselves, and you will have your students' firsthand accounts to share with the decision makers should the situation not resolve itself with conversation. Right now, we are discussing parents who speak for their students and involve themselves in their students' life without teaching their children how to ask questions, construct arguments, stand up for themselves during conflicts, and to be willing to do the work necessary to grow their skills and ability and knowledge through dedicated focus and hard work. As parents, we want nothing less than a smooth high school experience for our young adults. We want them to be challenged and supported, comfortable with who they are, to make friends, and to have amazing mentors, coaches, employers, and instructors in their lives. Nothing but good. We also recognize that facing difficulties and having to make hard choices are the only ways our students will grow into independent, reliable, contributing adults. When those growth experiences loom larger than feels comfortable to us as parents, we step in. We tend to want to take action so our student isn't hurt, so our child gets the best, so our child is as important in their world as they are in ours. All of that is natural and can be good. When we go too far as parents, we hurt our children, those people who have reason to be involved with our students, and we hurt ourselves. Once your child hits high school, it is time to start bucking up their ability to manage the challenges and successes in life to help them build the confidence necessary to approach their challenges. Work with your student on how to approach and hold their own when discussing challenges with a teacher, coach, employer, or authority figure. How can they best make their point or ask their questions? How can they stay focused on the resolution and avoid escalation? Help your student by teaching them. Help them think through the options they have in every situation. If their teacher isn't explaining the subject matter in a way that the student understands, teach them how to go to the instructor during office hours to ask for a different approach to the topic. Encourage your student to find other resources, such as books, websites, or individuals who know the subject well. If there is no solution to the issue, walk your student through the process of addressing the problem with their counselor or the department chair. Make sure your student understands all of the options available and how to decide which option is best in their current circumstances. This same approach can be used with employment issues, playing time disagreements, and your young adult's process of college applications. Make sure your student approaches the situation and the person in question first, without you. If no satisfactory resolution is achieved, the second step is to approach the individual with your student. The student leads the conversation, then if there is no resolution, you and the student discuss the situation with the individual and their supervisor or boss. And in all circumstances, do not complete projects or applications for your student. That is not only robbing your young adult of the opportunity to learn, but it also tells your student you don't trust them to manage their own lives. The other point that must be made is that we must all work on our listening skills. No matter how frustrated, hurt, or focused they are on what they are going to say next, your student needs to be able to listen to the conversation at hand. And you can assist by asking questions about what was said in your students' conversations with others, not just how they felt or what the student said. Ask for specifics. Help your student listen well. Listening well can help many situations from escalating. Finally, please understand that there is never an appropriate time for you to yell, harass, or threaten bodily harm to anyone. Umpires don't call the game your way simply because you yell loudly or question their ability to see. Coaches don't give quality time to your player because mommy or daddy think their player is the star of the team. A teacher can't help your student learn if your student is hiding the fact that they don't understand the concept being taught. College admissions officers will reject any application they suspect was not completed by the student. And they can tell when adults inject themselves into the admissions process. Being a parent doesn't stop being challenging or frustrating when your children learn how to walk or talk or go off to college. However, the more you focus on equipping your young adult with the skills to handle the challenges in their lives, the more you can look at your student's response to those challenges with pride rather than consternation. If you want to be involved with your students' challenges and learning opportunities, invest your time in teaching your student to advocate for themselves. If you found any of this information useful, hit the like button or perhaps consider subscribing. And if you have any questions, let us know in the comments below.